Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today, we're going to recap all the released Miraclulous Season 6 episodes, and also talk about why the episodes might not be releasing in chronological order. Because honestly, after looking closely at the release pattern, it feels like there could actually be a reason behind it. Let's start with the first release slot. In this first slot, we're going to talk about the first 4 episodes that released between January and February. These episodes were The Illustrator, Sublimation, Daddy Cop, and Where Papa's. These 4 episodes together was introduction phase of Season 6. So, let's start with the first episode. It was The Illustrator. It mainly feels like the beginning of everything. We see Marinette and Adrien slowly trying to understand what their relationship is now. They're not acting like a perfect couple yet, they're still learning how to be together naturally. At the same time, Marinette and Alia are trying to figure out who the new Hawk Moth is and how this new villain works. Alia investigate the akumatized villain, but they still don't really get any major answers. So the episode mostly works as a setup for the season. But one important detail happens in the ending credits. Marinette gives Alia a Kwagatama and officially makes her deputy guardian. That felt like a huge hook for future episodes. Then came Sublimation. And this episode also feels like part of the season's introduction phase. It focuses more on Marinette and Adrien's relationship and how Marinette is still struggling with her old habits. Even though she's trying to grow, we can still see traces of her previous behavior, like stalking people, which shows that things haven't completely changed yet. The episode doesn't move the main story forward too much, but it continues building the emotional foundation of the season. Then comes Daddy Cop. In this episode, we mainly see Sabrina struggling after leaving Chloe. She feels lonely and lost without having a best friend by her side anymore. At the same time, Zoe tries to help Sabrina and asks Marinette to invite her to the sleepover. But Marinette gets too busy planning her date with Adrien and unintentionally ignores Sabrina. So overall, the episode focuses on Sabrina's feelings while also showing how Marinette is still trying to improve her old habits and learn to pay attention to the people around her too. Then come Where Papa's. In this episode, we finally get introduced to Adrien's grandparents from both his maternal and paternal sides. We also learn that Gabriel didn't want Adrien to meet his grandparents. This shows his one more harsh side. The episode shows the difference between both sides of Adrien's family. Emily's side feels more royal and strict, while Gabriel's side feels much warmer. The episode also focuses on the family dynamics. We can slowly see how Adrien is starting to see Natalie as a mother figure now. So overall, the episode doesn't push the main plot much, but it builds up future storylines and develops Adrien's family relationships even more. Now, in the first slot, we can clearly see that all 4 episodes were more like a starting point for Season 6. The story had not moved much forward yet, and everything still felt like it was in its beginning phase. So overall, these 4 episodes mainly worked as an introduction. They introduced the new animation style, the new villain, the new dynamics, and the overall tone of the season, but they didn't really push the main storyline too far yet. Then comes the second release slot, which included Revelator, Climatic Queen, El Toro de Piedra, and Ruler. So first, let's start with Revelator. In general, Revelator mainly shows how Adrien is still trapped in the popularity he had as a model. Even after Gabriel's death, people still connect Adrien with his father and constantly praise Gabriel in front of him. At the same time, people also start criticizing Marinette and Adrien's relationship, and all of this begins spreading through the Vincent secret. Interestingly, many of these videos seem to be sponsored by Tsurugi, which feels suspicious considering Lila is now connected to Kagami's mother. So there's a strong possibility that all of this is being done intentionally to target Marinette. But the most important part is how this episode starts building up the danger of Marinette's lies. We can already see how badly Alia reacts after learning truth, which gives us a glimpse. So overall, this episode shows the consequences of Marinette lie and what will happen if lie is exposed in future. Now let's talk about Climatic Queen. In this episode, we again see how Marinette and Adrien's popularity is becoming a problem, while Aurora also takes advantage of the attention she gets. At the same time, The main focus is Adrian trying to find his true passion after Gabriel's death. He tries many different things, but in the end, he finally discovers his interest in running. We also get the introduction of Sublime in the ending credits and learn that Adrian first met her while running. So overall, the episode slowly develops Adrian's emotional journey and shows how he is finally starting to discover his real self. Now let's talk about El Toro de Piedra. This episode mainly focuses on father-son relationships. Ivan's father keeps forcing him to do things he doesn't want to do, which also parallels Adrian and Gabriel's, since Gabriel used to force Adrian into things like Chinese lessons. At the same time, the episode gives us small glimpses of Gabriel's softer side from the past, while also reminding us how controlling he actually was. The biggest moment comes when Marinette finds a hidden letter from Gabriel meant for Adrian. In that letter, Gabriel reveals that he was monarch and talks about the Miraclulous. But instead of giving it to Adrian, Marinette keeps it with her and the truth still remains hidden. Then in the ending credits, we get a massive reveal about a secret society connected to Gabriel and Natalie's father, showing that there's an even bigger mystery building up for future episodes. So overall, this episode slowly expands the season 6 while continuing the theme of complicated family relationships. Now comes the ruler episode. This episode mainly focuses on Nathaniel and Mark, their relationship, their comics, and how they understand each other. At the same time, we still see some classic Marinette moments where she acts awkward around Adrian and gives random excuses to avoid situations. But overall, Ruler is not a very major plot-heavy episode. It doesn't reveal anything huge, but instead it slowly continues the story. And with this, the second slot also gets completed. If we compare both slots, the first slot mainly worked as the introduction phase where everything was just starting. But the second slot feels more like a transition phase. New mysteries, secrets, and future plot points start getting introduced here, like Gabriel's hidden letter and the secret society. So even though these episodes don't fully develop those storylines yet, they clearly start building them up for future episodes. That's why they got released before or after their chronological order. As the video was getting too long, this is only part 1. Let me know your feedback in the comments, and tell me if you'd like to see part 2.